When a user enters new data or updates existing data, that updated data needs to be posted back to the web server. The web server can then store the updates in the appropriate data store. So what do we need to do to save the data from our form? To save the data from our form, we first need to define the appropriate resource for communication with the web server. Check. We did that already. The single resource we identified for the retrieve will work for the save as well. Next, we need to mock the resource URL so we can run the application withock the web server. Check. We've done that too. When we set up the mocking earlier in this course, we added the mocking for the save. We do need some UI element for the user to click to perform the save operation. And we need a submit function to execute when the user clicks the save. What would the submit function look like? If you recall from our data module earlier in this course, we are using a resource service to communicate with the web server. The resource service provides a $save method on the objects returned from the server. So all we need to do is call the $save method on the product to be saved. That's it. Let's do that now. Here we are back in WebStorm once again. The first thing we want to do is add a Save button. Let's put it at the bottom of the Product Edit Info view. While we're at it, let's add a Cancel button as well. So this code identifies another form group, and in it has a button that's identified as the Submit button, and another button identified as the Cancel button. The ng-click directive for the Submit button calls the Submit method in our controller. The ng-click directive on the Cancel button calls a Cancel method on the controller. So we'll need to add those two functions next. Notice, however, that we are using the click directives for the submittal. We are not adding any kind of submit onto the form itself. Recall that we don't have a controller for the Product Edit Info view. Rather, we're using the parent controller. The parent controller is the Product Edit controller, so that's where we'll add our new methods. First, we'll add the submit. The submit function simply calls the $save method off of the current product, which is specified with vm.product. And here's the cancel function. Recall from earlier in this course that we can use $state.go in order to navigate to a different state. On cancel, we're navigating back to the product list. Since we are using $state here, we need to inject it into the controller. So we're going to add $state here. And since we added it as a parameter to the function, we need to add it to the min-safe array as well. So we'll add it here. One other thing to point out here, notice that we're not using a copy when we're assigning vm.product to the product that we retrieved from the web server. That is because every operation, the product list operation, the product detail display, and the edit operations always get the latest product data from the web server. This ensures that we see any changes made by any other users and prevents the need then for a copy. Okay, so with the submit and cancel in place, that should be it. Let's try it out. We'll go to the product list. We can go to the hammer, and we can change the product name. We'll just do a silly edit, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll click Save. Notice we don't yet display a message to the user notifying them that the save completed successfully. We'll add notifications at the end of this module. Now let's go back to the product list. Yes, our product was updated. Next, let's try adding a new product. We can enter all the data entry fields. After we finish data entry, we can click Save. Going back to the product list, we can see our updates there and our new product is there. We were able to update an existing product and add a new product. So we now have an application that retrieves and saves data. But we only have one tab of the edit page complete. Let's do the search tags form next.